So we can easily pay off our debts if we are helped by the developed world and by the United Nations. So the way forward I had enunciated of all this crisis that I've said is a strategy of enlightened moderation, which I say is a double pincer. One to be executed by the Muslim world, where we must reject extremism and terrorism and go for socio-economic development. The other pincer has to be by United Nations and the Western world and the United States in the lead role. Resolve political disputes which are at the root of terrorism and extremism, especially Palestine and Kashmir, which are leading to extremism and terrorism within the Muslim world, within the Pakistan society, and also assist in the socio-economic development. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the technological and information revolutions are changing the world at an incredible pace, which we all know. In the last few decades, a new cyber universe has developed already. The result is new ways of thinking, working styles, social interactions, entertainment that were unthinkable in the last century. The advances in biochemistry, nanotechnology, all these words which don't come so easily to me, are going to have an equally profound impact on human development. I would like to say that let this revolution not be denied to the developing world. Let us share knowledge for mutual development and progress of all humanity. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Musharraf. We have microphones here at the two of the three center aisles. If you have questions, please come forward. Try to make them brief, and remember they're questions, not discourses. We start over here.
Assalamu alaikum. I have a question dealing with interfaith communication and development. I come from a Muslim family, but I've worked in Christian ministry for most of my adult life, bringing water to countries that don't have water. And I'm wondering, in Pakistan specifically, what do you think the effect of, say, Christian organizations coming in to provide developmental structures like potable water brings more peace to the region, or do you think it brings more disharmony? Thank you.
Sorry, the last part?
Do you think it's something that brings more peace to the region because the people have water to drink and they don't have to watch their babies die? Or do you think that the religious struggle is more detrimental to the region?
Well, for development, certainly we have to have peace. We have to have peace for development, for any kind of development. And maybe the core issue for the progress and development of the state, welfare, well-being of the people, as I said, is economic development. And economic development will be only assisted or facilitated if we have peace. When you're talking of water availability, etc., obviously in my experience in Pakistan, we had to develop dams, we have to develop canals to take the water. We then have to bother about the subsoil water, which whether it is potable or not. Therefore, the desalination of that water. To make the water potable, you need to have filtration plants all over the country for the poor to drink. So these are all, they involve big finances. And obviously, you have to have peace. And that is why in the region of South Asia, I went for peace with India. And I was pursuing peace in the most sincere manner so that we can facilitate economic development of the two countries. So I think in every developing country, the issue is peace within for the economic betterment the development of the state and welfare of the people. Thank you.
Good evening, General Musharraf. I want to welcome you to San Antonio as your fellow Foremanite. The question, I have two questions. Is it true that President Bush called you after 9/11 and told you that if you guys are not with us, we'll blow you to kingdom come? And second, what do you think Zardari was thinking when he gave the Taliban the autonomy in Swat?
Yes.
And by the way, all the Formanites love you.
I love them. Firstly, whether President Bush rang me, no, he didn't do anything of that sort. Yes, I have written in my book that it was Mr. Armitage who conveyed this message to the head of the ISI, the intelligence organization of Pakistan. But may I say that he denies this. And he's a very good friend. He's a wonderful individual and a wonderful person. So when he told me that he didn't do this, I said, I'm very sorry, I was told this and I've written it. If you haven't done it, I take my words back. So maybe he hasn't done it. So let's leave that aside. But however, I'm not one who gets scared by such threats at all. I took a full note of what we ought to do. What is in Pakistan's interest, first of all? Whether to join the coalition against the Taliban or not, is it in our interest or it is not it was certainly in our interest. We didn't want obscurantism of the Taliban in Pakistan. So therefore, it was easy that it was not in our interest. The other question that I asked myself and we discussed in the cabinet and with all my associates, what would happen if we were not a part of all that? The United States certainly is going to attack Afghanistan. It's very common. It's very logical. They can attack from the north. Can they come through Russia and Central Asian republics? No. Can they come from the south? They have to go through Pakistan. Can they come from the east through India with the assistance of India? They again have to go through Pakistan. So our sovereignty will be at stake with all our national interests may be compromised. So it was easy to conclude that it is in our interest. And also and with hindsight, I can say that we took the right decision. Now about Taliban, compromised with the Taliban, and nobody compromised with the Taliban in Swat. The issue was in Swat, unfortunately, there was a resurgence of Taliban because the provincial government thought that they should go on a political path with them. The other was that the people of Swat rose in demand of Nizam-e-Adl. This was cheap and quick justice. And the Taliban there misled the government perhaps in saying that we just want this cheap justice, which they had till 1959 when Swat was ruled by the Wali of Swat. It was in 1959 that it was absorbed into Pakistan. But to cut the long story short, the Taliban, while they said all that of Nizam-e-Adl, but when they came into a little more power, they said that the constitution of Pakistan, the judiciary of Pakistan is all un-Islamic. And therefore, they were exposed. And I must say that the fallout of a negative was positive, that now the people of Pakistan and the media of Pakistan all want army to destroy them. So that some good has come out of the bad that happened in those days. So I hope we don't blunder again.